Today we get a behind the scenes look at a brand new Knott Scary Farm event called Beyond the Fog. All right, hey you guys, I'm here today with Mariana. Say hi.
Hi.
She is one of the senior dancers at my daughter's dance company, and she is here today to help me out because you guys, this is a new event. And it's a part of Knott Scary Farm, and we're gonna get a very first look at it. So nobody's experienced this before. It is called Beyond the Fog, and it's a walking tour of a lot of the mazes. The lights are on, and we're gonna learn the history of Knott Scary Farm, and we're gonna get to see just a behind the scenes look, which should be really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We're a little bit early, so we hit up Starbucks. And we tried the pumpkin spice latte.
Very good. I'm gonna get this every day.
It was Mariana's first time trying it. She got the ice and I got the hot. And last year I tried their fall drinks, and I have to say that Starbucks stepped it up this year.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, because there's less of pumpkin flavor and more spice, and it's so good. Mariana spotted they have some new glow-in-the-dark Halloween tumblers. I'm so glad we're early because we would have missed this. That's so cool. And there's Independence Hall in the background. Do you know about Independence Hall? So it's a replica of Independence Hall, and it's open to the public. So anyone can go in and check it out. It's really cool. Okay. I love how Knott Scary Farm, they like really make history come alive. And today we're gonna get a lot of history. So we're gonna get a lot of Knott Scary Farm history. You guys, this is the 49th year of Knott Scary Farm. And next year is gonna be the 50th, which is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be so cool. I'm already looking forward to it. The event's about to start and we are checking in. So it looks like we're going backstage, which is really cool. So that's the whole idea, is they're turning on the lights and showing you a behind the scenes look of Knott Scary Farm. All right, you guys, so we got a Beyond the Fog lanyard and a pin, a little souvenir. And when you do this, your purchase does include these 2 items.
By the end of today, you're going to know more about Scary Farm than you've ever known before. You're going to see the mazes in a way that has never been shown to the public before, with the lights on, and you're going to walk away with an amazing amount of respect for the team that spends an entire year putting this stuff together, only to have you run streaming through and never see any of it. We're gonna go Beyond the Fog, everybody.
Okay, so we're splitting into groups, and I was just asking Mariana, like, what did you think of the video? We got a little history lesson.
And I was just surprised that they said like this was going on since the 70s, which is
did they say 73, something like that? Yeah, so Knott's Scary Farm basically invented mazes and, you know, these scare experiences that are so popular this time of year now. So we're pretty excited to get this like first look at this tour. Oh, and just a quick warning, you guys, that it is going to be very graphic.
Just because we don't have monsters popping out doesn't mean you don't see some stuff that's not kind of uncomfortable.
It's very macabre in some of these.
Yes.
They don't recommend anyone under 14 to do a tour like this. And today there are going to be a lot of graphic images. The lights are on and the scares are not happening. There's no jump scares, there's no scares, but there's a lot of gore. So just for any sensitive viewers, just beware that you might not want to watch this. This is pretty cool, you guys, because I thought this was just a behind the scenes tour, but we're actually going inside. When was the last time you were at Knott Scary Farm?
4 years ago.
So it's been a while for Mariana, so this is cool that we actually get to go inside. Now this tour is not going to give you like proper admission into the park, so you're not going on rides, you're not going to be staying at Knott Scary Farm. That's a separate ticket to get into Knott Scary Farm, but you do get a tour of Ghost Town, and then you get to go through 3 mazes. I think there's 6 mazes total, so you don't know on any given day what maze you might end up in. We're starting in Ghost Town, so that should be really cool.
I'm sure many of you have looked down that particular street, and during the day, quite a bit different, but at night, what is it known as? Anyone have any Ghost Town streets? And this section in particular is the heart of Ghost Town Street. Anyone know the name of that one? It's often known as Fog Alley.
At this point in the tour, we got to go backstage, and our tour guides were incredibly generous with their time because instead of touring 3 mazes, we got to tour 4. The Depths, Waxworks, Origins, and Mesmer. I also want to thank Knott Scary Farm for inviting us to this first look at the new Beyond the Fog tour, because you guys, it really was incredible. One of the cool parts about this tour, you guys, is there are Easter eggs. I'm not going to spoil them, but if you come in on this tour, you're going to learn all about these hidden elements that someone going through the maze, you know, at night and getting scared wouldn't know about.
Just under that fog, crouched low near the floor, are a bunch of gill men. They're gonna lurk through. They have these little fins on their head, so sometimes if you're looking, you'll see a little fin crest the water and disappear, and then suddenly a paw is reaching out at you. Also, note the temple facade, which again, not a lot of people will notice when the lights are off. Kind of got a tentacle face motif. That's important too. I'd like to be under the sea.
Octopus Garden, everybody.
This is another room too. When it's in show mode, you are going to see more of like the laser light effect to give the water some smoke. There's a waterfall effect over there in that corner as well. And when we're in show mode, the octopus's eyes are video mapped. So there's projections of his eyes kind of peeking around as you enter in here.
This is the big secret of the whole place. This is what the miners broke through, found this cavern, they found this pirate ship here.
Yes.
And this is our Goonies moment. This is the moment where they lead you in with your eyes closed, and then they open your eyes, and then you say something that you're not supposed to see on camera, so they have to do a second take, therefore ruining that take. True story about the Goonies. But yeah, if anyone's familiar with the Goonies, you definitely get the vibe. This ship is rocking back and forth. This is actually one of the biggest props that we have built, and one of the biggest show scenes we have ever built for a Scary Farm maze.
So welcome, everybody. Welcome to Waxwork, done by Dr. Augustus Scratch. However, it was not his to begin with. He did inherit it from his father. Waxworks was just your typical wax museum, and Augustus was raised to kind of follow in his father's footsteps. But he didn't really want to work with wax. He didn't want to work with plastic figures or mannequins. He wanted to work with the human body, with flesh. That is the vampire queen of Knott's Scary Farm, Sandy Graham. She was a pretty prolific haunt figure for a very, very long time. So that's how we pay homage to her.
She was the undisputed ruler of many, many, many of the vampire mazes.
Yeah, but when we come through, if you see here this back corner, it's a nod to one of our popular mazes, Pinocchio Unstrung. We've got some little marionette figures here in the corner. And then any message you see on the wall in blood was written by Scratch. But that is a nod to Asylum, one of our other mazes that had a lot of bloody wall messages. This is our first masterpiece of 3. And this is something, again, during typical show mode night, you wouldn't know. If you were to hit that button when the show is running, when the maze is active, it's Mr. Scratch himself giving you some details as to the inspiration behind his art, like you would in a regular museum.
I'm doing regular. We should hit this. Or
Yes,
something.
you should.
Yeah, you probably won't be able to hear the whole thing, unfortunately.
Right.
Because
Because
we
you're
wanna keep you
moving
moving.
through.
Anyone Ghost Town Alive fans here? The voice of Dr. Scratch is actually Tiny Mayfield.
Yeah.
The monsters in here, the creatures that come to scare you, they all kind of look vaguely like Marilyn Monroe.
That's why.
They particularly, according to the story, they were brought in here and they were told they could be made more beautiful, and they hate seeing other women who they perceive as more beautiful than them. They tend to be more hostile in that sense. There's a great scare over there where they will shine a spotlight in your face to try and distract you.
Maybe that's why I don't remember.
And there's a foot pedal right here for them to activate that
Your
too.
3, right?
Yes.
For Waxwork?
And this is our masterpiece number 3. This was made in-house, and they pretty much just told the sculptor to go crazy and have free reign. And this is what they came up with. You're again kind of see like who's human and who's mannequin based on the state of their body.
Now, one thing that happens over the years is the monsters would talk among themselves and go, hey, why are we all here? What is it that brought all the monsters and the ghosts and the ghouls and the horrible undead to Calico? Because we had the witch hangings take place in the past, roughly from the 70s and the 80s and onward. So combining that story with the fog and the monsters, the story built up over the years of a witch who put a curse on Calico, and that every October a ghostly fog manifests and causes the dead to rise and the living to transform into bestial, horrible creatures.
All right, everybody, we are now in the canyon. Woo! So this here that you're looking at is the grimoire. This may or may not be the source of Sarah Marshall's power. This may or may not, as we gear up for the 50th, start to trickle into some more mazes here and there. Look, it's already.
Oh my god.
Some of those mannequins that we were walking through on our way in, the one specifically in the bonnet is from My Bloody Clementine. And then these that we have here is just another reference and nod to the way that the makeup would have been done in the old streets for Ghost Town. And then if you look up above you right here, when we were talking about effects earlier for what effects we use in the park, this is a rig with a harness that a scare talent as Sarah Marshall wings around above you and flies over you.
Wow.
And scares you as you come through this last room here.
It's our introduction to the grimoire. That's going to tie together as well.
That's so cool.
If you
Very cool.
if you did see it, and if you saw Shackelford's dead daughter, that was yours.
Wow. Yes.
So we're gonna get like a
Getting some
origin
spoilers.
to the origin, and then this also too. We went through the depths earlier. This may or may not at some point
Y'all
have
been
something to
holding
do
out
with
way
that.
too much.
Who knows?
There's a
Here to us,
connection.
we have no- So one night, Phineas decides to poison the original Mesmer and put him under. And the results, they were pretty telling. They were pretty spectacular. So Mortimer Mesmer, his body died, but he continued to live under Phineas's powerful spell. And that night, Phineas learned the secrets of life. He learned how to unlock the veil, this portal between the living and the dead. And the next day, he took over the show. He took Mesmer's name, his moniker, and using that technique of killing and hypnotizing, he killed and hypnotized the sideshow acts to make them work for him. A lot of them also came to him because they were unsatisfied with their life and wanted more. So he used that as a means to get them into his grips, into his sideshow. He was unsatisfied with the amount of art that he was able to put on his body. He felt like he was running out of space. So once he was killed and then put under Mesmer's hypnosis, the idea came that, well, what if you just opened yourself up and tattooed yourself on the inside out? There's also, you're going to see a lot of references to some of our mazes as well in here. We've got like Paranormal Ink with a little ghosty there, Pumpkin Eater with that pumpkin on the wall. We have a mermaid siren for the depths on that wall back there. And there is another really cool effect in this room as well. So we've got the tattoo chair. When you enter the room, the floor does vibrate and give that sound effect of a tattoo being done on somebody. The original concept idea was to have guests enter with headphones, to have him talking in your ear the whole time. Obviously, kind of a logistical nightmare, didn't work out, but we do have it playing on a speaker that's about ear level, if you guys can find it. Where do you think it is? There? Yeah, you got it.
Oh.
So we do have hidden speakers throughout the maze at ear level to give you that sense that Mesmer is always whispering and speaking in your ears as you go through.
You guys, so we got to see 4 mazes today. It was so incredible with the lights off. You got to take your time. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was just like learning like the backstory of all the mazes and how they all connect in a way. About like the book with the demon.
The grimoire?
Yeah, the grimoire.
It is really cool, the thought that goes into the production of these mazes and just the talent behind it. They said over 200 people work on these mazes, you guys, and it really shows. It's so incredible. During Mesmer, we found out there's a secret red door. You would never know about that secret red door if you didn't do the tour. If you guys want to do this Beyond the Fog tour, then you go to knotts.com and you can buy your tickets there. The size of the group can be anywhere from 2 people up to 15. So the biggest group you would be a part of is 15 people going through a maze, learning all the secrets, and just getting to see every single detail. There's so many cool details. I wanted to take so many photographs, so like you can't photograph this, so you just have to go see for yourself, especially if you're a fan of Knott Scary Farm. Thank you guys so much. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you later in Super Cali Land. Bye. Thank you to our tour guides. You were awesome. Have fun doing the tour. Bye.
Enjoy, guys.
Thank you.